Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. The final tallies are in for the 2013-14 Chinook School Division's enrollment, and the reports indicate 98 less students across the Southwest. 115 students at Great Plains College recently received $112,000 in scholarships during the annual reception at the Swift Current campus. The Thanksgiving long weekend was a time for celebration as the communities of Lancer and Portreeve marked their Centennial Year, all coinciding with the 43rd annual Lancer Chokecherry Festival. Thanks for joining us here today. As students across the Southwest settle into another school year, the Chinook School Division has released its final enrollment numbers. We have more in today's top story. The final tallies are in for the 2013-14 Chinook School Division's enrollment, and the reports indicate 98 less students across the Southwest. These enrollment numbers include pre-K through 12 at 5,327 and the Hatarian schools at 559 students. However, once the homeschoolers of 141 students are added into the mix, Chinook's overall enrollment now sits at over 6,000. Overall stats, which the Director of Education says are not too alarming at this point in time, and a situation which the school division will continue to monitor closely. He further adds that the decrease over the long term was predicted back in 2006, when the Chinook School Division was originally formed.
Yeah, at that time we had roughly 550 students in each of the cohorts in grades 9 through 12, and we were bringing in about 350 students in our kindergarten classes. So when we projected that out over 5 years, we felt we would be down 1,000 students, and we've been pretty accurate in terms of the numbers that have graduated and the numbers that have come in. The good news is that we underestimated the number of students who would be moving into the region, grades 1 through 11, which has really been able to stem that curve and right now keeps us in a nice healthy position enrollment-wise.
And although this is the first major decrease for enrollment across Chinook in the last 3 years, there has been a slight increase in student enrollment in Shaunavon.
I would say that we've been waiting for a few years now to see if the economic boom would translate into more students. And that just hadn't transpired until this past fall, where we did see some more students, especially in the public school, than we had been anticipating to see. So we're going to monitor that, and hopefully that's an upward swing that we can count on.
The Chinook School Division is the second largest in the province and continues to encompass approximately 6,000 students across the Southwest. We've enjoyed your photos and story ideas all summer, and now we want to see what's happening this fall. Send us your back-to-school photos, your autumn scenery, and other unique images. And you could be a part of the new My SWTV feature at the end of the show. Email us today to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. When you think about agriculture in Saskatchewan, livestock and grain are some of the first things that come to mind. Cam McLeod is an entrepreneur in Cabourg thinking outside of the box, starting his own cherry farm business in 1999, called Cloud9 Orchards. The biggest challenge for McLeod was making sure his cherry plants could handle the harsh winters of Saskatchewan, and explains how he determined there was an opportunity for success.
The University in Saskatoon is doing some wonderful things with plants that will survive our Saskatchewan winters. And they come out with a Carmine Jewel variety of sour cherry in '99. I heard about them, started planting them heavy in 2000 and planted right up until 2007. And between two properties, I've got about 6,000 trees growing.
What attracted McLeod to this type of cherry was its deep purple hue and flavor, which is hardy and easy to process. Even with cherry plants that can survive the winters, McLeod still had many obstacles facing him, These plants take 5 years to grow to their proper size. And with no initial financial profit from the crop, his income would have to come from other sources.
I knew there wasn't going to be any money off the place I kind of expected 10 years. I was hoping things would come together a little quicker. And we had production, so we did sell off a few cherries here and there. But I had part-time jobs off farm, and lots of times I went away in the wintertime and pipelined and just did what I had to do to keep paying the bills here. And then 2 years ago was kind of the turning point. I come out of the bush in the end of March and thought, that's enough of that. I'm just going to go full-time with this.
McLeod then decided to explore the processing side of the business and created the Santa Fe Food Company in 2011. He developed 3 unique sauces out of his cherries, which can be found in stores in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, and British Columbia. McLeod firmly believes in all natural ingredients and does not include any preservatives, color, added flavor, or salt. In order for Santa Fe Foods to be a success, he needed to expand his business. And with the help of Community Futures Southwest, was able to turn his dreams into a reality.
I was getting into heavy production then, so I needed a harvester, and we just talked about things, and finally in 2008 I signed with them, and that's when I made some improvements, got a mechanical harvester, did some piping and some running some irrigation lines and such to try to water what I've already got on the go, and things like that. They were a big help when it came to it. The situation I was in, I didn't think anybody would even look at me, kind of thing.
Thanks to Community Futures Southwest, success stories such as Cloud9 Orchards and Santa Fe Food Company are becoming more popular. Community Futures Southwest helps business owners with financing and business training, making dreams become a reality. Contact their office today. Community partnerships continue to benefit Great Plains College students across the region. We have more in this report. 115 students at Great Plains College recently received $112,000 in scholarships during the annual reception at the Swift Current campus. This year's recipients cover a broad range of programming, from the Bachelor of Social Work, Business, Office Administration, Power Engineering, to welding programs. Caitlin Peters is a first-year university student in Swift Current and was grateful for the scholarship she received.
It's great. It really helps a lot with saving money. That's why I stayed here in the first place. So my first year will pretty much be covered, which is every little bit helps. I like it so far. It's nice small classes, and the professors can get more personal. You get more of a personal relationship, so it's easier to get help.
Peters and other students attending Great Plains College are able to pursue their education closer to home, thanks to the generous support of local businesses, groups, and other individuals in the community who see the value in post-secondary education.
It's very important to keep our city going and growing and keep people in Saskatchewan, keep people in Swift Current instead of Regina and Saskatoon. It's very important. I think the college is a big part of this.
We've been fortunate enough to have some graduates from the accounting side, but also from the office administration program as well. So we're very fortunate and been able to get some really quality people from the programs here.
A winning partnership between the community and Great Plains College, which has assisted students with pursuing their dreams and allowing the scholarship pool of dollars to grow year over year.
We do more work on the scholarship front than any regional college in the province, to the tune of around a little more than $250,000 a year in scholarship funding. The dynamic of the college-community connection is really, when you get right down to it, the lifeblood of college growth. And that college-community connection is absolutely central to our strategic future and our mandate as a regional college.
Great Plains College is headquartered out of Swift Current and encompasses 6 locations and 3 program centers across western Saskatchewan. W.W. Smith Insurance has reached a milestone as it celebrates its centennial. Having served Southwest Saskatchewan for the past 100 years, W.W. Smith Insurance is your motor license issuer, while specializing in all of your personal and commercial needs, including home, auto, agro, business, and life insurance. W.W. Smith Insurance, independently owned and operated since 1913. We've enjoyed your photos and story ideas all summer, and now we want to see what's happening this fall. Send us your back-to-school photos, your autumn scenery, and other unique images. And you could be a part of the new My SWTV feature at the end of the show. Email us today to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. The communities of Lancer and Portreeve have reached a milestone with their Centennial Year. Our Southwest TV News crew was there, and we bring you all the highlights. The Thanksgiving long weekend was a time for celebration, as the communities of Lancer and Portreeve marked their Centennial Year, all coinciding with the 43rd annual Lancer Chokecherry Festival. Crowds gathered at the Lancer Hall for the traditional pancake breakfast, which served up a hearty start to the day.
What's the art of a good pancake? Good cook.
And as the patrons registered for the homecoming weekend and picked up a jar or two of token chokecherry jam, many in attendance reflected on their personal memories of Lancer while meeting up with friends and neighbors.
My wedding dance was in this very hall in 1976, so went to the school here. It's awesome memories and experiences from Lancer, Saskatchewan.
Bob Wicks is a former RM counselor for Portreeve and traveled in from Calgary for the Centennial weekend. Now with his grandson marking the 4th generation on the farm, Bob says the Lancer area is the best place to raise a family and reflects on his parents' first experiences in the area.
My dad came over in 1913, and the railroad only came as far as Caby at that time. So he walked the rest of the way, and he had a homestead north of Lemsford, which is the town west of here, west of Portreeve. And then he managed to buy the farm we're on now. He went back to England and married my mom. And there was a family of 4 of us, 3 spoiled sisters and myself.
The celebration was marked by Tom Andrews and his wife cutting the centennial cake, while the youngest residents released the ceremonial balloons. The festivities continued throughout the village with museum displays, the redneck games, a food fair, and a walk back in time with rope-making demonstrations and blacksmithing. A useful talent that was appreciated by many in the Lancer area many years ago.
They were far enough from town, from the Swift Current, that they had to do their own. So if you broke something, you had to go to your own local repair guy to get it done. Or if you were handy enough, you had the repairs on the farm. Like most farmers do now, they've got a welder. The old guys used to have forge.
The Centennial Parade also entertained the crowd with an array of entries from across southwest Saskatchewan and southeastern Alberta. A well-rounded celebration which Cypress Hills Grasslands MP David Anderson was pleased to be a part of.
Well, I think people come back and they tell the stories, often the stories that aren't in the history books, and that's what they really enjoy, is getting back together, talking about when they grew up, what they were doing here. And so many people have gone out of these communities and become leaders all over Western Canada, and many of them come back home and just to celebrate their heritage. So it's a really good weekend. It's just a great privilege to be able to be here as well.
And although Lancer and Portreeve will only celebrate their Centennial Year once in a lifetime, the tradition of the Chokecherry Festival will continue for years to come. Every Thanksgiving long weekend in the heart of downtown Lancer. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.